Welcome, family. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to share with you my favorite fall supper, and that is pork roast, sweet potato, cabbage, and fried cornbread. So first thing early this morning, I took my little pork roast and I made a rub with olive oil, Paula Deen's house seasoning, some garlic minced, Himalayan salt, and cracked pepper. And I made a rub and I just rubbed it into the pork roast all around all the sides. And I'm going to put this in the crock pot and just let it cook all day long. I love pork roast when it's good and tender and cooked all to pieces. So I've chopped up an onion and adding that for flavor. I've put some water in the crock pot and I just laid the pork roast fat side down, set it for 8 hours on low, and that's all I have to worry about that. So I went about my day, and then later on, close to dinner time, I decided I really want to get started on that sweet potato.
Where'd you go?
So every fall, I will buy a bushel box of cured sweet potatoes from my local produce stand. And cured means that they can store pretty much all winter because they've been dried out. They still have the dirt on them, but they will keep in a basket in my pantry all through the winter. But I'm going to share with you my most favorite and easiest way to cook sweet potatoes for dinner. You just take your sweet potato and you wash it, and you take a fork and you poke holes all around it. Then you're going to take a paper towel and wrap each sweet potato in a paper towel. I do this same method when I cook baked potatoes, russet potatoes. So then I go over to the sink and I wet both of the potatoes with water, get that paper towel nice and moist. Then I'm going to take some plastic wrap and I'm going to wrap each potato up nice and tight. Now this method only takes 9 minutes in the microwave, and it comes out perfect every time. So now I'm just going to take them over to the microwave, pop them in, and I cook these for 9 minutes on high. That's all there is to it, to your sweet potatoes. And I'm telling you, every time I cook these, they are so moist and so delicious. So now I'm going to move on to cooking some cabbage. I love fall cabbage. And if you ever get to Asheville or in the mountains, go to the farmer's market and buy their cabbage because it is delicious. Mountain cabbage is the best. But I'm just taking the cabbage and cutting it into bite-sized pieces in my bowl. And that's about enough for me and my husband. I don't want to waste any, so about a half a bowl is perfect for us. But in my pan, I've got some bacon pieces that I'm just cooking up. And then I'm going to put in the cabbage. I don't add any water. I don't add any oil, just what was the fat that's off of the bacon. I just give that a good stir, mixing it all up. And then I'm going to add in some salt and pepper, and that is it. That's all I like on my cabbage. I don't put any water or any chicken broth or anything. Just salt and pepper and the bacon drippings. Now I'm going to put a lid on this and only cook it for about 10 minutes. I like my cabbage just slightly crunchy. I don't like it cooked to mush. So I'm just mixing it all in, mixing all that salt down in, and I'm going to put a lid on it and then cook it for about 8 to 10 minutes. Alright, it's been 10 minutes and it's cooked on a medium heat, but you can see it's still pretty and green, and this is perfect. So now I've cut the burner off and just let it sit until we're ready to serve our plates. Oh, it smells good. I love cabbage. Alright, so now we take those potatoes that I've only had to cook for 9 minutes, and they are extremely hot, so be very careful if you use this method. My hands are gotten so worn from cooking hot things I don't hardly feel it. Take a knife and just run it down the middle, and if it goes straight through, then your potato's done. If you go more than 10 minutes, it will cook the potato too much. So 8 to 10 minutes is what you need for your sweet potatoes of a medium size. So I'm just unwrapping it, and you see all the steam coming off of it. But that wet paper towel keeps the moisture in the potato, so it's so moist and so delicious. Then I'm just going to open it up and add some real butter to it. And you could also put in some brown sugar if you wanted and cinnamon. But for our meal, I'm just putting in butter with just a little touch of cinnamon. See how easy that just cuts? And is so moist and so delicious and so easy. You don't have to bake these in the oven for hours and hours. You can just do it in the microwave. This is my favorite way to cook potatoes. Now later I'll show you also how I take those sweet potatoes and cut them up into fry strips and cook those in the oven, and they're delicious. But tonight we just wanted baked sweet potatoes. So I've got my pork roast done. It's now dinner time, and I'm going to load up the plate with some very tender, delicious pork roast. There's the cabbage that's all cooked. And I even took the time to fry up some cornbread, because you know you got to have some cornbread with the cabbage. I love fried cornbread. So this was our dinner tonight. It was delicious. It's easy to put together. That pork roast cooked all day. The crock pot did all the work for me and is so nice and moist. And I had plenty left over for pork roast sandwiches tomorrow. So my favorite fall meal is the pork roast, cabbage, and sweet potatoes. How about leaving me in the comments below what your favorite meal is for the fall? This brings me a lot of joy because I love good food. Sprinkling on a little bit of cinnamon on the sweet potatoes, and that's it. Good supper. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you'll try that sweet potato in the microwave. I think you'll be very surprised at how delicious and moist that is and how easy it is. So I hope everyone's having a great fall. Thank you so much for watching. And hey, I'm only about 6 subscribers away from having 500, and then we'll have the drawing for the rope basket. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope everyone has a very blessed day.